In this video, we're going to review the recently released book, Personality Isn't Permanent, along with why this is one of the all-time must-read personal development books for those looking to create major change in their lives. And we're starting right now. What is going on, Next Level Nation? This is your man Johnny F here with Next Level Warrior, the channel where we help you to level up your life. If you're new here and interested in becoming your next level self, then you know what to do. Hit that red subscribe button and turn on post notifications to catch my videos posted every week. So in his new book, Personality Isn't Permanent, Dr. Benjamin Hardy absolutely crushes the major myths associated with personality, while at the same time complementing it through breaking down the science, offering a systematical approach to creating and becoming your future self. Throughout our lives, many of us fall into the trap of believing that our personality is innate, that it's not changing, like believing that it's completely set out for us as if we're hardwired to be a certain way. What we don't realize is not only how false this narrative is, but how completely destructive this belief system can be. This creates fixed mindsets by aimlessly cramming ourselves into narrowing personality types, which further enforces the illusionary limits of what we're actually capable of. This fixed mindset that we unknowingly nurture over time causes us to believe that we can't create change in our lives, leading a life that's based on the past we're stuck in, which then defines us in the present, leading ultimately to a life of mediocrity. The reason I find these limiting personality types dangerous is because we are much more susceptible to having low levels of confidence, increased depression, developing illness, and literally wasting the most precious resource we are given, our time. There are 5 main types of personality myths that Dr. Hardy breaks down clearly and effectively in this book. 1. Personality can be categorized into types. Number 2. Personality is fixed or innate. Number 3. Personality comes from your past. Number 4. Personality is something that you discover. And the last myth, number 5, personality is who you authentically and truly are. The author dissects these so clearly in his writing through sharing his words and his knowledge with a PhD in organizational psychology. But he also adds to this chapter and consistently throughout the book the science and research to back what he's stating. The message he drives home is that regardless of our rigid perception of our own personality, it will change, whether you choose to be behind the driver's seat or not. As I read throughout the book, one thing I wasn't expecting were the reflections I was having on various parts of my own life where large personality shifts happen for me. And this is likely something that many readers will open up to and experience for themselves, especially with the prompted journaling questions that Ben Hardy strategically places throughout the book. Taking the time to intentionally answer these questions can help you to analyze these parts of your life, supporting you as you revisit these past traumas in order to reframe them through finding the blessings in disguise that have happened. This helps to discover your imagination along with your vision of who you're changing into, creating a future that's far greater than your past. Now, something I wasn't expecting at all was learning about the fact that our memories distort and actually alter every time we pull them up. When reading through this chapter in particular on reframing our past traumas, it felt like 1,000 mental light bulbs were going off. It really sunk in for me that part of the big changes I've created in my life when later choosing forgiveness towards the traumas I've experienced, I was able to consciously look for the blessings that came to my life resulting from those traumas. This is part of what reframing your past is, and it coincides directly with shifting from the victimhood mentality that this book explains. This helps us to dive back into our painful past experiences, reframing our past by asking the important question, why did this happen for me instead of why did this happen to me? And by the way, I'll be leaving a few links in the description for more information on some of the topics I've mentioned if you want to dive deeper into how our memory works. And if you're enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like down below. It really helps to support this channel. So, throughout each chapter, the author uses real-life examples from people that experienced massive change from traumatic events, including examples from his own life. Most of these changes didn't happen until they revisited their past to give it new meaning. The shift in their lives was so huge that within a decade, they were nearly unrecognizable to one another. The present, more grown-up self being much more understanding and compassionate to their past selves. I found these real-life stories to provide another element, allowing us to connect deeper with the people involved towards our own life's adversities as we journey throughout the book, giving us a greater sense of our own capabilities and actual potential. Now, something that I intended to mention at the beginning of this video is that over the past 2 years, I've been completely immersed into Benjamin Hardy's Accelerated Momentum Program, or AMP for short. Being a part of this membership platform, which you can find more about below, I've witnessed myself transform into a completely different person, particularly through shifting bad habits and developing new ones that helped me achieve more in 2019 than I did through the entire past decade. I mention this part because honestly, my former self in 2018 and even now may have actually had a hard time believing what the author has gone through and achieved himself through applying the principles that he teaches. I know this clearly makes me biased in this review, but throughout my own evolution in these 2 years, if I hadn't also been on the sidelines witnessing Ben's progress towards his future self, I would have been doubtful of his achievements. This really helped to instill the belief of the change that's possible for all of us, and one of the biggest reasons that I had to share this review with you. Now back to the book. Probably one of the largest benefits you'll get from reading this is the condensed blueprint that Ben provides when it comes to creating your future self. He achieves this in a balanced approach through sharing the research and science along with the excellent and important journaling prompts mentioned before. Now, taking the time to answer these questions starts an important process and flow into creative imagination. All too often, many of us have doubts in our abilities that are based on what we've done in the past, which completely blocks the process of imagining what we're capable of. Ben Hardy stands behind every word he shares in his book, leading by example of its efficacy, along with countless others, including myself, that have put these practices to work. So, whether you agree with him or not, the research shows that your personality will change over time. And this is exactly all the reason to put yourself in control via the actions you take today to become your next level self. So start now by hitting that subscribe button, leave a like if this provided you with great insight, let me know your thoughts about personality shifts and the ones you've experienced, and of course, never stop growing. I'll see you in the next one.